First winter with Luna. We went to our separate families during Thanksgiving, and Luna made some plans for me around my birthday in December. I told her that on the Friday of my birthday, I wanted to have dinner with my friends at a certain Asian restaurant I had been to many times. She didn't think the restaurant was up to par, which I disagreed with, obviously, since I had chosen it. Still, we went to the restaurant I wanted to go to and had a good enough time. I did realize, though, how much having Luna around my friends put a damper on our conversations. It just wasn't the same energy. Perhaps we couldn't make the same jokes or talk about the same nerdy subjects. I can't remember exactly, but there was a cog in the machinery of conversation for sure. Luna and I had lightly talked about the idea of birthday sex earlier in the day, and though it may have been a casual mention, I made the mistake of expecting birthday sex by the end of the night. Once we got back to my place after dinner, however, Luna was not down because she was tired from teaching preschool all day. I didn't want to make her feel bad, but my disappointment was hard to hide, and it made the following 24 hours a bit awkward. Of course, just because it had been mentioned earlier in the day didn't mean it was guaranteed to happen. But in my entitled, young adult mind, I thought, what was this relationship with no birthday sex? The next day we drove in a snowstorm to Montrese, because she had got us an Airbnb, and we were going to the biodome, a place where they replicated different climates around the world and populated those areas with exotic animals. Think climate control indoor zoo. Our energy together was a bit rough in the beginning, but it turned around a bit when we could talk about how beautiful the day had become and how cool the biodome was. I enjoyed pointing out all the animals and the joy they brought me. Luna also pointed out things she liked, and it somehow turned into the two of us, each pointing out different animals, but not acknowledging what each other pointed out. I selfishly wanted her to pay attention to the animals I was pointing out, because it was, after all, my birthday. She, on the other hand, operated as usual and paid no special consideration to my birthday. Fair enough. It's hard to remember that whole trip, though I believe we turned it around, and I got the birthday sex I wanted, just a day late. We moved on from the trip, concluded it as a good time, and headed back to our lives at Hip Forest. The rest of winter involved the two of us spending plenty of time together, as well as me trying to record and mix an EP. I had a fair collection of songs for a 10-song album, but decided to settle on just 4 of them for an EP, overwhelmed by the prospect of getting all songs together in good shape before some imaginary timeline I set for myself. Good to start out with an EP though, as a new artist, so that one doesn't spend too much time on one project just to end up with no attention or profit yield. Still, it felt like quite the struggle. Trumpty Dumpty had been elected in the fall of 2016, and it was a straight plunge into a sort of universal age of darkness. Sure, one can argue that advancements in biotechnology and general public safety were things to be proud of, but the future health of Earth was looking grimmer than ever. It was starting to seem like the people in power didn't want to save anyone or anything, as if they had plans of their own that didn't find Earth and us necessary. I was selfish in the sense that I could ignore politics for the most part, so long as my immediate life wasn't affected too much, and I could reduce the whole circus to an energy suck. Who had time for that? People who were being oppressed, of course, and so my lack of commensurate passion for protest led me to feel like a total arsehole. Anyway, this is all to say, it was a complicated and dark time. And on top of all of that, Luna discovered that she had a stomach ulcer, something she would have to drastically alter her diet to heal. The ulcer days were brutal for Luna. Food had to be bland, drinking alcohol was out of the question, and there was a constant sense that there was some deep wound that desperately needed healing. She would be unsure if a food would agree with the ulcer or not, and would end up finding out the hard way. Still, we went on a handful of winter hikes, something I didn't do much prior to meeting her, and these hikes were quality times. Even if Luna and I had shared some frustrating moments, we clearly cared for one another and at least wanted the best for each other.